When factoring a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c that has a leading coefficient that is non-zero, you can use the AC method for factoring. First, you want to factor out the GCF of all terms. If you can make it simpler, that's what you should do. Next, you should make sure that your trinomial is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and then multiply a and c together. From here, you can use either technique 1 or 2. I'm going to use technique 1 to find the factors of a, c that will combine to give you b. Next, you need to write out the parentheses with the variable and the factors inside. Now, this is an alternate technique from the one we used on a different video, and this is the difference here. We're going to divide the two factors that we found, and we're going to divide them by a, and then reduce it. If the reduced fraction is an integer, you can just leave that alone, and you're done. If the reduced fraction is an integer, if it's just a rational number, then you're going to need to move the denominator in the front of the variable of that parentheses. So that's a lot that's going on. Let's just see how it works. So 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So I'm going to take my a term, 2, and c term, 6, multiply them together, and I'm going to get 12. And my b term here is 7. So just like before, what times what is going to give me 12? But when I add it together, I get 7. So I have my factors, 12 and 1, 6 and 2, and 4 and 3. And I look at this and I immediately have my eye drawn to 4 and 3, because I know that 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So I have my two factors. Now this is similar to the grouping technique up to this point. Now this is where we deviate. When you're done factoring, you're supposed to have two parentheses. So that's what we're going to do immediately, just set up our two parentheses. And our variables are x, so I'm going to put x's in the front. And my factors are 4 and 3, so positive 4 and positive 3. Now the difference here is we're going to take our a term, which is 2, and we're going to divide both of these by 2, because whatever a is what we divide by. So 4 over 2 reduces down to 2, so x plus 2. 3 over 2 does not reduce down. This is as simple as it can get. So we're going to take this denominator and we're going to move it in front of x here. So we're going to get 2x plus 3. And this is the factored form of this trinomial here. Next, negative 2x plus 8x squared minus 3. Got to make sure it's in the correct form, so I'm going to rewrite it as 8x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now I'm going to take my a and c, multiply them together, and I'm going to get negative 24. And I know my b term is negative 2. So what times what gives me 24? When I add it together, I get negative 2. So I have 24 and 1. I have 12 and 2, 8 and 3, 6 and 4. And as I look through these factors, my eye is drawn to 6 and 4. I know if I could subtract these, I can get a 2, but I need it to be a negative 2. So I'm going to make my 6 negative. And I also see that when I multiply these, I get a negative 24, so I know it's right. Because when I add these, I get negative 2. So get rid of what I don't need and keep what I do. Now, just like with before, our final answer is going to be in two parentheses, so that's what we're going to set up immediately, is two parentheses. And our variable is x, so x is in the front. Our factors negative 6 and positive 4, so negative 6 and positive 4 go in. And now we need our a term, and a is 8. So we're going to divide both of our factors by 8. Now 6 over 8 reduces down to 3 over 4, and 4 over 8 reduces down to 1 over 2. Now none of these are integers, so I'm going to take the denominator of each one and move it to the front of each parentheses, like so. So I'm going to end up with 4x minus 3 and 2x plus 1. And this is the factored form of this trinomial here. Last, 10x cubed minus 85x squared plus 105x. Got a GCF in here, which is 5x, so I will factor a 5x out. And the remaining is going to be 2x squared minus 17x plus 21. So, I take my A and C term, multiply them, and I get 42. And my B term is negative 17. So, what times what equals 42? That adds together to give me negative 17. In this case, again, 42 and 1, 21 and 2, 14 and 3, and 7 and 6. Now again, my eye is drawn down to 14 and 3 because I know it'll give me 17, but I need a negative 17. So I can just make 14 negative, make 3 negative, and those will give me negative 17, and these double negatives will multiply and give me a positive. So I know that this is the correct set of factors, and just remove the rest. So from here, keep my 5x, but set up my two parentheses. And I have a variable x, so I'm going to put x's in the front. And my factors are negative 14 and negative 3, so negative 14 and negative 3. My a term is 2, so I'm going to divide both of my factors by 2. So 5x, still there. 14 over 2 becomes a 7. 3 over 2 cannot reduce down, so I can just take my denominator here and just move it to the front of the x. So it becomes 2x minus 3. And this is the factored form of this trinomial.